Hello everyone! Ako si Danilo N Jr. BTBTED ELT1. Ang ating pag-uusapan ngayon ay kung ano ang history ng land reform sa Pilipinas at ano ang kaugnayan nito sa ating Philippine history. Halina't ako inyong pakinggan at alamin ang kasagutan sa ating mga... Bago pa man ako magsimula, nais ko munang sabihin na dalawang lingwahe ang ating gagamitin, ang wikang Pilipino at ang wikang Ingles. Sa kadahilanan na hindi lahat ng Pilipino ay nakakaintindi ng Ingles, kaya kailangan ito ilapat sa wikang Pilipino upang tayo ay magkaintindihan. Lalo na ang topic natin ngayon ay ang history of land reform and its significance to Philippine history. Bago pa man tayo dumako sa history, nais ko munang sabihin niyo sa inyo ang bigyan ng kahulugan ang land reform. So ano nga ba ang land reform? It is a type of institutional and technological change which brings land ownership in favor of real farmers and increase enthusiasm to use modern technology to acquire the advantage of cost economics and extra production. Ibig sabihin, ito ay tumutukoy sa legal na pagbili ng pamahalaan sa malalawak na lupaing sakahan upang ipamahagi sa mga magsasaka. Isinasagawa ito sa tulong ng mga batas sa reformang agraryo. So dumako na tayo sa history of land reform in the Philippines. Makikita natin ang timeline o ang pagkasunod ng pangyayari sa history ng land reform sa Pilipinas. So una na dito ay ang pre-colonial period, before 16th century. So ang pre-colonial period ay ang bago pa man dumating ang Espanyol, land commonly owned by the community known as barangay, small unit of government consisting 30 to 100 families administered by the chiefs. Ibig sabihin, ang land noon ay tinuturing na barangay na pinamumunuan ng chiefs or datus. Also, everyone in the barangay, regardless of status, had access on the land and mutually shares resources and the fruits of their labor. And also, they believe in and practice the concept of stewardship, where relationship between man and nature is important. So, land cultivation was done by kaingin system. Ano nga ba itong kaingin system? It is the slash method wherein the land was cleared by burning the bushes before planting crops or either land was plowed and harrowed before planting. Ibig sabihin, susunugin muna bago ito taniman. Food production was extended by for consumption only. Neighboring communities were engaged in a barter trade. Nauso na din dito yung tinatawag na barter trade. Ang barter trade ay ang exchanging their goods or agricultural products kapalit ng mga luxury items tulad ng damit, kumot, or relos, or iba pa na dala ng mga ibang bansa tulad ng Chinese, Arabs, at mga Europeans dahil noon hindi pa naman uso ang pera, kaya ganun lamang kanila pinagpapalitan. This period also have exercise of leasing and selling of lands. Meron tayong dalawang code nagsasabi na merong exercise ng leasing and selling of lands. First code is in Maragtas Code, the only recorded transaction of land. That's about selling of the Panay Island by the natives to the 10th Bornean datos in exchange of golden salakot and long gold necklace. Dito na ibinenta yung Panay Islands, 10 Bornean datos, kapalit ang golden salakot at long gold necklace. Ano nga ba ito yung Panay Island? So, ang Panay Island ay ang western part of Visayas na kinabibilangan ng Capiz, Aklan, Iloilo at Antique. Sa pangalawang code, tinatawag na Code of Lorawan. There is no record in transaction of land. All the written laws of the Muslim society contains provision on the list of cultivated lands. Spanish era or Spanish period, 1521-1896. Spanish period ay ang panahon ng pananakop ng mga Espanyol. The system of land cultivation is the period is that colonial government introduced pueblo agriculture, a system where organized into pueblo and each Christianized native family is given a 4 to 5 hectares of land to cultivate. The problem of this is tanging yung mga ipinanganak lamang na Christians ang makakakuha ng 4 to 5 hectares. Dahil nga nasakop na tayo ng mga Espanyol, tanging sila na lang yung may karapatan sa lupa. So, ang ginawa nga nila ay kapag naging isang Kristiyano, mabibigyan talaga sila ng lupa. The native families are not allowed to own a land. Dito nga, wala din kakayahan ng mga native families na magkaroon ng sariling lupa. Dahil ang lahat ng lupa ay pagmamay-ari na ng Spanish King. Tanging sila lamang ay mga landholders at di landowners. Ibig sabihin, kapag landowners na sila, magbibigay na sila ng taxes sa Spanish government. Dito nagsimula yung tinatawag nating tax or buwis. The concept of encomienda, royal lands grant, was introduced. This system grants the encomienderos must defend this encomienda from external attack, maintain peace and order within, and support the missionaries. In turn, the encomiendero acquired the right to collect tribute from the Indios or native. So ito namang encomienderos ay mga Spanish citizens, mga landowners, at dahil nga sila na yung mga landowners, tanging ang mga native or Pilipino na lamang ay mga tenants or alipin at nagtatrabaho na lamang for a share of crops. The agriculture export mandated in the hacienda system was developed as a new ownership. A compras y bandala system was practiced. Ang sistema ay nabulok sa pang-aabuso ng kapangyarihan ng mga encomienderos o Spanish citizen. Ang pagkilala sa lalong madaling panahon ay naging lupa sa ilang kapangyarihan mga Panginoong may lupa. At ang mga katutubo na dating nilinang ang mga lupain ng may kalayaan ay nabago sa mga nangungupahan lamang na bahagi. Ang iba na rin mga natives o Pilipino ay binibenta ang kanilang mga lupa sa murang halaga at ito ay ang tinatawag nating compras y bandala system. The Spanish Crown made a law in 1895 ordering landholders to register their land holdings. Dito rin nagkaroon ng batas na kailangang i-register ng mga landholders ang kanilang mga lupain. There's a law requiring the registration of properties. Sa unang batas, tinatawag itong Ley Hypothecara or the Mortgage Law of 1893. Sinasabi dito na provided ang systematic registration of titles and deed, pati na din ang ownership claims. Ang ikawalang batas ay ang Marla Law o Royal Decree of 1894. Sa ikalawang namang batas, binibigyan na sila ng deadline ng 1 taon para mapag-register ng kanilang mga lupa. Ito, kapag di mo na pairesto ang iyong lupa, mapupunta ito sa Spanish government. Ang First Philippine Republic. The First Philippine Republic was established in 1899. General Emilio Aguinaldo declared in the Malolos Constitution his intention to confiscate large estates, especially the so-called prior lands. Nakasaad ito sa Malolos Constitution 1896, Article 17. Sa puntong ito naman, ang revolutionary government o yung mga nag-aklas na pinamunuan nina Andres Bonifacio at ang punong presidente na si Emilio Aguinaldo ay binawi nila ang mga lupain kinuha sa kanila ng mga Spanish government, lalo na ang mga lupain ng encomienderos. American period 1898 to 1935. Dahil nga nalaman ng mga Amerikano ang pagtatalo sa lupa at yung social unrest at revolt sa panahon ng Spanish, American passing several land policies. One of these is Philippine Bill of 1902. Set the ceilings on the hectareage of private individuals and corporation may acquire. 16 has for private individuals and 1,024 has for corporations. Sa unang policies, may karapatan na ang mga Pilipino na magkaroon ng pag-aari sa lupa. Ang kaso nga lang, pati Amerikano din ay may karapatan na magkaroon ng lupa. Dahil nga panahon na yon ng pananakop ng mga Amerikano. The second policy was Land Registration Act of 1902, Act number 496. It provided for a comprehensive registration of land titles under the torrent system. Ano nga ba yung torrent system? So, di ba merong sistema na ginawa ang Spanish period sa pagre-register ng lupa? Pinalitan ito ng torrent system. Kasi, sabi daw nila, ang maganda daw sistema ito sa US. Maayos ang pagkakaroon ng titulo ng lupa at accurate na din yung land survey. Public Land Act of 1903 introduced the homestead system in the Philippines. Sa policy namang ito, binigyan na ang karapatan ng mga enterprising tenants na mag-acquire ng at least 16 hectares to cultivate, but in-implement lamang ito sa Mindanao and Northern Luzon at hindi nationwide. Tenancy Act of 1933, Act No. 4054 and 4113 regulated the relationship between landowners and tenants of rice, 50-50 sharing, and sugarcane lands. So, ito na yung simula ng land reform program. The Commonwealth period, 1935 to 1942. The government and the stewardship of President Quezon realized that the land reform programs should be implemented immediately. He transformed homestead program into massive resettlement program. So, si President Quezon ang unang-unang na problema sa lupa na meron ng Pilipinas. Pinagbibili na niya ang mga prior lands para na nga naman masolve na yung problema sa land ownership kasi kahit wala na ang mga Spanish ay nakaregister pa din yung lupa sa Spanish. There are a lot of significant legislation enacted during Commonwealth period. So, ang mga batas na enacted ni President Quezon ay ang 1935 Constitution, the promotion of social justice to ensure the well-being and economic security of all people should be the concern of the state. Commonwealth Act No. 178, an amendment to Rice Tenancy Act No. 4045, November 13, 1936. Provided for certain controls in the landlord-tenant relationships. National Rice and Corn Corporation, or NIRIC, 1936, established the price of rice and corn thereby help the poor tenants as well as the consumers. Commonwealth Act No. 461, 1937, specified reasons for the dismissal of tenants and only with the approval of the Tenancy Division of the Department of Justice. Rural Program Administration, created March 2, 1939, provided the purchase and lease of haciendas in their sale and lease to the tenants. Commonwealth Act No. 441, enacted on June 3, 1939, created the National Settlement Administration with a capital stock of 20 million. In Japanese occupation, the peasant and worker organized the Hukbalahap, Hukbong Bayan laban sa mga Hapon, on March 29, 1942. This Hukbalahap controlled whole areas of Central Luzon. Landlords who supported the Japanese lost their lands to peasants while those who supported the Huks or Hukbalahap earned fixed rental in favor of the tenants. So this Hukbalahap is an anti-Japanese group. They took bass of land sa mga landlords para ibigay sa mga natives o sa Pilipino. Kaso nga lang, nung naging communist group na ang Hukbalahap, nabawi na din ang mga landlords ang kanilang lupa kasi nga natapos na yung gera noon. The Philippine Republic. It is the new republic. After the establishment of the Philippine independence in 1946, the problems of land tenure remained. This became worse in certain areas, thus the Congress of the Philippines revised the tenancy law. So kahit wala ng gera noon at wala ng pananakop ng ibang bansa, ang problema sa lupa ay nananatiling nandiyan pa rin. Alamin naman natin mga initiatives and laws enacted by the different President of the Philippines. First, President Manuel A. Rojas, 1946 to 1948. Republic Act No. 34 established the 70-30 sharing arrangements and regulating share tenancy contracts. Ang unang batas na ginawa ni Rojas, so kung natatandaan nyo, yung 50-50 sharing ng arrangements noon, binago ni President Rojas at ginawang 70-30 sharing arrangements and regulating. So, mas lalo naging dehado ang mga magsasaka kasi 70% ang nakukuha at napupunta sa mga landowners at 30% lamang ang napupunta sa mga magsasaka o tenants. Republic Act No. 55 provided for a more effective safeguard against arbitrary ejectment of tenants. Sa ikalawang batas naman na ginawa niya, ito ay ang mapaprotekta ng seguridad ng mga magsasaka para hindi sila basta-basta mapalaya sa mga landowners sa kanilang mga lupa. President LPGR Quirino, 1948 to 1953. Executive Order Number 355 issued on October 23, 1950, replaced the National Land Settlement Administration with Land Settlement Development Corporation or LASADECO, which takes over the responsibility of the Agricultural Machinery Equipment Corporation and the Rice and Corn Production Administration. Sinasabi dito na pinalitan niya yung National Land Settlement Administration with Land Settlement Development Corporation. So yun lamang yung ginawa ni President LPGR Quirino sa land reform ng Pilipinas. President Ramon Magsaysay, 1953 to 1957. Republic Act No. 1160 of 1954 abolished the LASADECO and established the National Resettlement and Rehabilitation Administration or NARA to resettle descendant and landless farmers. Isang ginawa nila sa LASADECO ay na-abolish ni President Magsaysay at ipinalitan na naman ng NARA. Sa unang batas naman ito, idinasan ito para sa mga rebelde para mabigyan ng lupa o homeland ang mga magbabalik loob na rebelde. Republic Act No. 119, Agricultural Tenancy Act of 1954, governed the relationship between landowners and tenant farmers by organizing shared tenancy and leasehold system. So sa pangalawang batas na the law provided the security, the nature of tenants, pinagtibay ang shared tenancy and leasehold system. Dito na din nabuo ang Court of Agrarian Relations. Republic Act No. 1400, Land Reform Act of 1955, created the Land Tenure of Administration or LTA, which was responsible for the acquisition and distribution of large tenanted rice and corn lands over 200 hectares per individual and 600 hectares per corporations. Sa pangatlong batas na ito, ang pagkakaroon ng malaking lupain ng rice and corn na aabot sa 600 hectares para sa mga korporasyon o asyenda at 200 hectares naman para sa mga tenants. Republic Act No. 821, Creation of Agriculture Credit Cooperative Financing Administration, provided small farmers and share tenants loan with low interest rates of 6 to 8%. So, binigyan ng tulong at patutang ang mga magsasaka sa mababang interest na 6 to 8% lamang. President Carlos P. Garcia, 1957 to 1961, continued the program President Ramon Magsaysay no legislation passed. So walang ginawang batas patungkol sa land reform si President Carlos P. Garcia bagkus pinagpatuloy lamang niya ang programang ginawa ni Ramon Magsaysay. President Dosiado P. Macapagal, 1961 to 1965. Republic Act No. 3844 of August 8, 1963, Agricultural Land Reform Code, abolished shared tenancy, institutionalized leasehold, set retention limit at 75 hectares, investors' right of preemption and redemption for tenants farmers, provided for an administrative machinery for implementation, institutionalized a judicial system of agrarian cases, incorporated extension, marketing and supervised credit system of services of farmer beneficiary. Sa ginawa naman ni President Macapagal, tinanggal niya ang hatian sa lupa. Yung 70-30 sharing ng arrangement na ginawa ni Rojas ay nawala na at may limit na din ang pagkakaroon ng lupa hanggang 75 hectares na lamang na dating umaabot ng 200 to 600 hectares ay ngayon ay 75 hectares na lamang. Ginawa rin dito yung invested rights of preference redemption for tenants farmers. So ang batas na ito ang nagbigay sa mga farmers ng kalayaan sa bondage of tenancy. Kaya nga, naging leasehold na lang ang dating shared tenancy. So, ito yung panahon na nawala ng tuluyan ng shared tenancy ng bansa. President Ferdinand E. Marcos, 1965 to 1986. Proclamation No. 1081 on September 21, 1972, ushered the period of the new society. So, 5 days after the proclamation of martial law, the entire country was proclaimed and land reform area simultaneously, the agrarian reform program was decreed. Republic Act No. 6389, Code of Agrarian Reform, and RA No. 6390 of 1971 created the Department of Agrarian Reform and the Agrarian Reform Special Account Fund. It strengthened the position of farmers and expanded the scope of agrarian reform. Kasi dati, di ba, ang tinatawag na DAR ay tinatawag na Ministry of Agrarian Reform or MAR, na ngayon pinalitan ni President Ferdinand E. Marcos ng Department of Agrarian Reform or DAR. Ito ang isa sa magandang batas na ginawa ni President Marcos. Pinamigay niya sa mga magsasaka ng libre ang lupa. Presidential Decree No. 2, September 26, 1972, declared the county under Land Reform Program. It enjoined all agency and office of the government to extend full cooperation and assistance to the DAR. It also activated the Agrarian Reform Coordinating Council. Presidential Decree No. 27, October 21, 1972, restricted land reform scope to tenanted rice and corn lands and set the retention limit at 7 hectares. So, dako naman tayo kay President Corazon C. Aquino, 1986 to 1992. Republic Act No. 6657, or otherwise known as the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law, or CARL. The law became effective on June 15, 1988. Executive Order No. 228, July 16, 1987, declared full of ownership to qualified farmer beneficiary covered by PD 27. It also determined the value remaining unvalued rice and corn land subject of PD 27 and provided for the manner of payment by the FPs and mode of compensation to landowners. So, gumawa si Aquino ng batas na magbibigay initial agrarian refund kasi di naman po magpapatupad ng walang pera. So, initial amount of 50 billion pesos. Napalaking pera na yan. Kaya nga dito na din nauso ang corruption. So, makikita natin dito yung Proclamation No. 131, July 22, 1987, instituted the CARP as a major program of the government. It provided for a special fund known as the Agrarian Reform Fund, ARP, with an initial amount of 50 billion to cover the estimated cost of the program from 1987 to 1992. Executive Order No. 229, July 22, 1987, provided mechanism for the implementation of the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program or CARP. Executive Order No. 129A, July 26, 1987, streamlined and expanded the power and operation of the DAR. So, kasi nga po, di ba po yung sa PD 27 ay ang nasakop lang ay yung rice and corn. Pero pagdating naman daw po sa CARP, sinakop na po ang lahat. Ang sugarcane, banana plantation at iba pa. Kaya nga po, kung inyong matatandaan yung sa Hacienda Rosita, nagkagulo po. Kasi nga po, dahil sa CARP, naging comprehensive or malawak. Maraming batas ang naisagawa, kaya kasuhan ang nangyari. Pati landowners ay nagkaroon ng karapatan, di tulad po nung sa PD 27 na tanging gobyerno lamang ang may kakayang kuhain ang lupa. So, Republic Act No. 6657, June 10, 1988, Comprehensive Agrarian Reform, an act which became effective June 15, 1988, instituted a Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program to promote social justice, industrialization, provided a mechanism for its implementation and for other purposes. This law is still the one being implemented at present. Executive Order No. 405, June 14, vested in the land of the Bank of the Philippines the responsibility to determine land valuation and compensation for all lands covered by CARP. And last, Executive Order No. 407, June 14, 1990, accelerated acquisition and distribution of agricultural lands, pasture lands, fish ponds, agroforestry, and lands and other land of the public domain suitable for agriculture. President Peter B. Ramos, 1992 to 1998. Republic Act No. 7881, 1995. Amended certain provision of RA 6657 and accepted fish ponds and ponds from the coverage of CARP. So, dito naman daw po ay, kung matatandaan nyo sa ginawa ni Aquino, na kasama daw po dun sa CARP yung fish ponds. Pero, sa kaso po nito ni Fidel Ramos, gumawa siya ng batas na tinanggal niya yung fish ponds and ponds kasi hindi naman po yun sakop ng lupa eh. Tubig na po yun. So, Republic Act No. 7905, 1995, strengthened the implementation of the CARP. Executive Order No. 363, 1997, limits the type of lands that may be converted by certain condition under which limits the type of land that may be converted by certain condition under which specific categories of agricultural land are either absolutely non-negotiable for conversion or highly restricted for conversion. Republic Act No. 8435, 1997, Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization Act APMA, flagged the legal loopholes in land use conversion. Provided Republic Act 8532, 1998, Agrarian Reform Fund Bill, provided an additional 50 billion for CARP and extended its implementation for another 10 years. So, dinagdagan ulit ng 50 billion ng CARP, ang fund ng 50 billion yung CARP. President Joseph Estrada, 1998-2000. Executive Order No. 151, September 1997, Farmers Trust Fund allowed the voluntary consolidation of small farm operation into medium and large-scale integrated enterprise that can access long-term capital. He launched the magkabalikat para sa kulturang agraryo or magsasaka, the DARPOR into joint ventures with private investor into agrarian sector to make FBs. So, yung kay Estrada naman ay more on funding. Binibigyan niya ang mga mahihirap ng pondo para makapagsaka, kaya nga po hinawag si ERAP para sa mahirap. President Guillermo Macapagal Arroyo, 2000 to 2010. Land to Nature Improvement DAR will remain vigorous in implementing land acquisition and distribution component of CARP. The DAR will improve the land to nature system through land distribution and leasehold. Provision of support service CARP not only involves the distribution of land but also include package of support services which include credit assistance, extensive service and irrigation facilities, road and beaches marketing facilities, and training and technical support programs. Infrastructure project, Kalahi R-Zone. So dito na daw po nagsimula yung Kalahi Agrarian Reform, where these zones consist of one or more municipalities with concentration of ARC population to achieve greater agro-productivity. Agrarian justice. So, kay Arroyo naman ay hindi lang pamimigay ng lupa, kundi pagbibigay din ng mga support service tulad ng mga nabanggit ng mga initiatives na or projects na ginawa niya. President Benigno Aquino III, 2020 to 2016. The Agrarian Reform Community Connectivity and Economic Support Service or ARCSES project was created to contribute to the overall goal of rural poverty reduction, especially in agrarian reforms. Agrarian Products Credit Program APCP, the Legal Case Monitoring System, LCMS, and ito lang po yung batas na ginawa niya. Executive Order No. 26 years of 2011, the mandate the Department of Agriculture and Department of Environment and Natural Resources Department of Agrarian Reform Convergence Initiative to develop a national greening program in cooperation with other government agency. Kay Aquino naman po ay more on initiatives and agency ang ginawa niya. At tanging isa lamang batas ang kanyang napanukala tungkol sa land reform program. So dako naman po tayo sa panghuling Pangulo, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, 2016 and the present. Pursue an aggressive land reform program that would help and alleviate the life of poor Filipino farmers by prioritizing the provision of support service alongside land distribution. Directed the DAR to launch the second phase of agrarian reform where landless farmers would be awarded with distributed lands under the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program. Duterte plans to place almost all public lands, including military reserves, under agrarian reform. The President also placed 400 hectares of agricultural lands in Boracay under CARP. Under his administration, the DAR created an anti-corruption task force to investigate and handle reports on alleged anomalous activities by official and employees of the department. So dito na inano yung mga opisyalis ng DAR kasi ang alam niya na nagkakaroon ng corruption sa mga opisyal nito. The Department of also pursues an Plan Zero backlog in the resolution of cases in relation to agrarian justice, delivery of the Agrarian Reform Program to fast-track the implementation of CARP. So, yun lamang po at sana po ay may naintindihan po kayo sa topic natin ngayon. Salamat po.